Peace. This is your man Paulie Rhyme, Paul Richardson. This is the Paulie Rhyme podcast, episode 11. So this is part 4. So we have episode 10, where I'm talking about rocking as a solo artist in Japan and putting together solo sets. Then we have episode 11, where I talk about being an educator. And then we have episode 12, where I'm talking about being a parent. So make sure you check out those old episodes, and you can find these if you're listening. Obviously, you can check out the video on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, then go to all your sites, podcast sites where you can listen. And then, share, like, subscribe. I appreciate it. So this episode, or this part 2 of the episode, where I'm looking at it from an educator in Japan standpoint, is talking about prepping a student trip abroad. And so, just to give you a short background, we run a family school / business in Handa, which is about 30 minutes outside of Nagoya, in Aichi, which is basically central Japan. We have a school of about 60 students from kindergarten all the way up to adults. And we run classes 5 days a week, or 6 days a week, sorry. We just started a new day this year. So we run classes 6 days a week. Primarily after school, some from about 4 till 9 o'clock at night. And then also we do online classes. And so as part of our program, we do what they call Eikaiwa classes, which are basic English language classes, beginner classes on up, where kids are learning just how to speak, or learning the basics of phonics and alphabet, things like that. Then when they get into elementary school, middle school, and we do some reading, it's really more like a 50-minute class. And then with the adults, it's more conversation, as well as high school, middle school. We also have what we call our American school. And so American school is for returnee students. And returnees are students who lived overseas. Maybe they were born in the United States or born in Japan. Their parents moved. So parents from Japan got a job, transferred for a couple years, and then they moved their kids to an English-speaking country. So then the kid went to school for 2 or 3 years in an English-speaking country. They became fluent. Some kids were born while they were there, and they were raised in that environment. Moved back, looking for a program where that kid is more advanced. So we have those kids. Then we also have kids who went to English preschools. So from the time they were 3 to the time they were 6, they were speaking English every day at preschool. And then we have kids who are native speakers. We have kids who are fluent because their parents are fluent, just a wide range of students, but primarily just advanced students. So students who can read, who can write, who do math, science, everything in English, and are looking to continue improving at a native pace and a native level. So we do 3 types of classes. We have a reading class, primarily reading and writing class, on Mondays. And then on Tuesdays, we have a STEM class, or STEAM class, where that's science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And then we have our grammar, vocabulary focus class, and those are 2-hour classes. Kids get homework, kids move at their pace or higher. And we decided to, before the pandemic, to put together a program where kids could go abroad, because not the kids might have lived abroad, some kids have been abroad, but not as students, and also some kids haven't had the opportunity. And so we have been planning this for a couple of years, and then the pandemic happened. And now, since things are, I don't want to say get back to normal, but things are being reasonable, so it's time for us to do this trip. So we started prepping this trip, and a lot of that prep has fallen to Itoko. Itoko is my wife and partner, because a lot of the stuff has been in Japanese and translating. And so her ability as a translator has been amazing. You can't put a price on it. And also she teaches. So, we had these ideas. We've been bouncing these ideas off of each other. And so I think it's important when you are planning something like this, whether you are planning from Japan to another country or planning from another country to Japan, is to figure out who is going, who is organizing. That might be the same, that might be different, and what are the people's roles, and then obviously what are the language barriers, and who can fill those blanks and take care of those responsibilities. And so also to what are people's strengths. So I feel like in this case, like obviously I'm a creative, so coming up with ideas, but also when we need to book things or organize things, I can help with that. When we're talking about the United States, and then from a Japanese standpoint or things of such, Itoko is strong on that end because of her language and being from Japan and understanding, talking to the parents more often than I do. So yeah, we set it up that way. And so with this year we have 4 students, one of which is our student, but then we have our kid, and then we have 3 other students going. And so then thinking about the schedule, actually I was able to go back to the States last year, kind of do some reconnaissance. Not really, but look around, think about it. And that's where we really decided, because I wanted to go to California, but California is expensive. And I think initially we were thinking about going to California, but then Cleveland is just more reasonable. There's a lot to do. There's a lot more colleges. There's just a lot of benefits to going to Cleveland, and with the way that the dollar and yen. So you also have to think about that too, how much things are going to be. So you want to make it reasonable. Obviously you want to make money as a business, but it's a school thing, so you want to be reasonable and not make it too crazy for the parents, or you won't get people. So, but then thinking about the schedule, so it's easy to move around Cleveland, rent a car, do these things, or rent a van. There's lots of fun activities, lots of tours. We're going to go on 4 college tours. We're closer to Niagara Falls, so we can go do that. There's water parks. There's a beach. There's so many things to do. Lots of food places. Cleveland is a great place to do this. So yeah, it was easy to put together the schedule. Also thinking about traveling. Kids might have jet lag. At some point they're going to get homesick. So making sure that you do go to a place where the kids can feel a little bit of home. So like Cleveland has Asia Town. There is a certain Japanese restaurants, things that we can do, so the kids be like, oh yeah, that's cool. I'm feeling like I'm at home a little bit. Get them through it, as well as taking them to the big things like Niagara Falls, or taking them to the colleges, giving them a chance to experience American life as a kid. And then, of course, having a barbecue, doing those things that we do in the States for those experiences. But 10 days is what we're trying to do, so it's jam-packed. So definitely get there, take a little break, survey, see the lay of the land, and then go into the activities, and then have some time to reflect would be my suggestion in terms of overall. As far as the activities, I mean, it's really up to you. Obviously, you want to make sure they eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You want to make sure that you have breaks. You want to make sure that you can get places relatively easy. And if you need to travel or things happen, you have time to do extra travel. And then, yeah, as far as prepping, that's probably another thing. So once you get everything organized, get those things, thinking about visas and traveling and passports, and making sure that parents have the ability and resources to do those, and support. So we are also, providing support. Then we're going to have 2 days where we kind of walk through the schedule, walk through what we're planning to do, what our expectations are with the family and the students, and using some of the English time that we are teaching them to give them, most of our students are advanced, but just to give them some of that easier language, because they'll probably be so overwhelmed when they get there that will be like, wow, I speak English, everything's going really fast, I don't know what to say right at this moment. So it's like, here you go, remember these things, keep these things handy just in case you need to reference something, and just try to have fun with it. And so, yeah, that's pretty much the gist of how we set up this project. You can check out our website, so chubuis.com has a lot of information on there, as well as, check out social media to see what we've been doing to promote it. I do think that your first time, you really have to have like a threshold. So for us, we could do 3 or 4, students, taking them back to the hometown. We still, that first trip, we obviously are trying to make money, but breaking even is okay. Just so we can get the trip, get the data, get, over there, say, hey, we can do this. And then we think, obviously, next year we'll get more students. We'll just keep building. So you have to think long term. I don't think you want to take one student, right? That would be, I don't know if that works for you. But if you got a small group, that's good. And I'm actually happy that we have a small group this time because it's manageable. Getting a van, even a minivan, we can kind of move around. And then if we have like 20 students or something, then we have to hire other people. We want it, it be more challenging to have that amount of people. Now, eventually, maybe 5th year, something like that, we'll have that many people. But I have learned in this experience, it's different. It's different than working at a public school, different than working at a private school. It's an English school, and a lot of times having a smaller group is better. So I think that ideally we never want to get more than like 12 or 10 or something. Who knows? But if we're able to find more teachers and we're able to walk people through the process and keep the standards up, then we might do that. And we'll see. But this first time we're taking a small group. We have a lot of good activities set up, meeting a lot of good people, trying to find ways for them to engage with other students and make some friends, or at least, meet people, and then see all the sites and really have, a full week or so in English, while giving them some time, some downtime to do, some things and communicate with the family and, have a good trip. So yeah, so check out, if you have any questions or comments, please hit me up about details, let me know. And then, check out episodes 10 and 12, where I'm talking about being an artist and talking about being a parent in Japan. Share this episode with your friends or family members or people who have interest in education in Japan or English schools or traveling abroad from Japan. Yeah, so I appreciate it. Peace.